Need advice on disappearing from his life. This is a disposable account. Nick, M37, and I, F36, have been together for 3 years. Despite the fact that I wasn't flawless, my perspective is that we had a generally happy relationship up until a year ago, when I discovered him cheating. I am financially self-sufficient and have been a meticulous financial planner throughout my life. On the 22nd of January, I will be fully debt-free. It took me some time to forgive him, but he did everything he could to earn back my trust, and we were able to have a relatively calm period of around 8 months. He requested me to assist him in starting a business, which I agreed to do to a certain extent. I drafted the plan in accordance with his vision and guided him through the process of obtaining licenses and completing all other processes. He didn't follow through on his promise. His excuses began with "I don't have time," followed by "I'm anxious because getting it off the ground won't be immediate," and so on. In other words, I established a business for him in which I would serve as his primary customer. This sounded like a good middle ground because he wanted me to appoint him as my partner, which is unimaginable at this stage. For background, I attended college, and despite having a mediocre academic record, I worked really hard later on when I obtained my first job in order to make up for my lack of an amazing academic record. I got certificates and put as much money as I could into my studies in order to increase my chances. It was a wise decision. Since I was 28 years old, I've been self-employed. When I first met Nick, he informed me that he operated a small business, but that he was about to take a government position because the economy was not improving anytime soon. That was absolutely okay to me. Things were going swimmingly until I discovered that he was seeing his ex-girlfriend. This was a tremendous setback for me, because I had no idea what I had done to lead him to act in this manner. When it came to being a reliable so, I did everything in my ability to be helpful. I tried my best to present myself well for him, and I was making a contribution to the home. I paid half of everything, and it was my place. We went through a long period of difficulty until I made the decision to forgive and let go. During this new honeymoon phase, he gained a better job, treated me with respect, and was extremely sensitive to my needs and desires. Early in October of this year, I began to notice red signs. He suddenly wanted me to stay away from his startup, didn't want to go out, and seemed to have lost interest in as a result. He got irritable and obnoxious. Everything revolved around him and his requirements. He'd lost his work owing to COVID the previous year. In January, we relocated to a house that I had leased. I adore the house, but it has caused conflict between my husband and me. I'm a big fan of animals. My landlord does not interfere with my pet-related activities as long as I maintain a clean environment in the apartment. I made a catio for my rescued cats, who number in the tens. It's an enclosed space with a controlled temperature, and they have access to all of their supplies at all times of the day. This was the realization of a lifelong dream. Because I've been feeding those kitties for years, I wanted to do something to assist them stay off the streets. Additionally, they have all of their immunizations. One of them had chronic kidney disease, CKD, but he recovered. Nick was well aware of this from the beginning. Because of the automatic cat litter boxes, the house is clean and there are no pet odors. He was enraged by the cats since he wanted his family to come in with him and his wife. The answer was a categorical no. This was never brought up in conversation. He even went so far as to beg me to get rid of the cats and advised that I put them up for adoption on my own initiative. The pets were not purchased at his expense. He hasn't worked a consistent job in months while I'd helped him fund his business meetings because I didn't want to ruin his dream. He does make a contribution, but it is substantially less than it could be. I can't live with his family for whatever reason. They are picking beggars and moochers as their subjects. His brothers and himself follow a pattern in which their relationships are severed as soon as babies are born. I realized what I had done far too late. Nick claims that his ex-girlfriend went insane once she became a mother. His brother conned his ex-girlfriend into moving in with her parents while he looked for a place for them and the kid to live. He never found a place to live, but he knocked her up a second time, causing her parents to forbid him from entering their residence. When his sister-in-law gave birth to her second child, the youngest brother took off like a shot. All of his siblings, as well as his mother, live in the same house. His reasoning for wanting them to move in was that we had 3 spare bedrooms as well as a very large family room, and that it would be fantastic if they could save on rent as a result of it. As a result, I believed there was no intention to make a contribution. To cut a long story short, I became seriously ill by the end of October. I never received even a token of appreciation from him. I sobbed because I was experiencing body aches, and he simply walked away. His justification is that I could be contagious, which was not the case. He never inquired as to whether he could get me something to eat, and just came to check on me on a rare occasion. Because he had gone to be with his family for Thanksgiving, I had a lonely holiday season while I was still recovering. My family and friends aren't close by because I left everything to him. We had a conversation about marriage at one time. I recently discovered that he had returned with his side chick. I was going to hire a private investigator, but it's not worth it. I'm already aware of everything I need to know. I was able to get a hold of his phone and discovered almost 3 weeks' worth of texts. They are unquestionably having relations. I've been holding this inside of me since I was in too much pain to face him when it initially happened. It's something I wouldn't wish on anyone. We're barely on speaking terms, and he hasn't even tried to inquire as to what's wrong with my relationship. I was unable to locate anything on his girlfriend's social media accounts, Laura. I learned a lot more than I needed to know about her mother from her mother's profile. He has been involved in their lives at least since last summer, and he has been deceiving me about it. This is a topic that is important to my heart. While he's been lying to me about going on job interviews and failing miserably, I've been helping to support his extravagant lifestyle by contributing to it. He's on a so-called business trip to the British Virgin Islands. I no longer believe that there is a commercial component involved. Alternatively, he may be merging business with another activity. I'm not sure if this is a sham business conference or what, and I'm not interested in finding out. I did look at Laura's mother's social media accounts, and she makes a passing reference to a vacation abroad. I'm leaving him for a variety of reasons, the first of which is the misery he's causing me, and the second of which is that he's a liar. I'm looking for advice to see if there's anything I'm overlooking on my must-do list because I'll be cutting off all communication with him. I'm not going to give him the luxury of knowing that I'm going to pull the rug out from under him. I've already informed the landlord that I'll be leaving the house a little earlier than usual. I'll be taking advantage of Nick's trip to relocate myself. In order to alleviate my concerns about transporting pets in cargo, I've already contacted a business that specialized in pet transportation. I have all of their health certificates in place, and they will be at my house by 9 a.m. to pick up their kittens. Nick's flight leaves significantly earlier in the morning, so he must be out of the house by 6 a.m. In preparation for my relocation, I've already made arrangements for my pets to be boarded until a new catio can be constructed for them. It will be taken care of by my sister. I shall be residing on my own land in the near future. I've planned for the movers to arrive in the afternoon of the same day as well. As a result, I'll have more time to pack and segregate my belongings from his. I'll have all of his personal belongings moved to his mother's residence because I don't want to have any personal interaction with him at this time. All business endeavors have been shelved altogether. I've taken legal action to ensure that he has no access to my clients and have erased the business plan, among other things. I need to change all of my passwords and pins on all of my cards, even the Visa I've given him to use for emergencies, because he could be able to use it to withdraw money from my account. Aside from that, I need to drain and close the bank account that I allowed him to use for business costs. I think it's better if I do it while he's flying so that he won't be tempted to use them. I'm not sure whether I'm missing anything. I'm leaving immediately in order to avoid any shocks. His family coming to confront me, etc. He is now free to live with his girlfriend if he so desires. I believe she stays with her parents, but he will no longer be a source of concern for me. Do you have any recommendations? Don't want any loose ends to be left hanging.